You are here because you're a founder and a speaker and you read that title. That's right. If you're not posting those slightly embarrassing ideas, you are filing your content right into that folder called mediocrity. Everybody knows how important it is to be human. This effort has the highest ROI in 26 and beyond. That's right, we are building human-ass brands. I really don't want to see any founders and speakers be filed into that, because you are the people who are changing the world, making this place a little bit better, and you deserve to be heard. You have your own slice of the pie of responsibility to be real and truthful. Not is that just good for the world, it's good for your business. There's two main problems that I'm seeing at this point. Number one, you're letting your ideas slip away. You're not taking notes. I'll revisit that later. Number two, AI is trash. Trash. You sit down, you start with AI. AI has three problems. If you're not using it properly, it can be a huge headache. Number one, it sends you in countless loops. If you let it, AI will lead you down another rabbit hole and another one in a loop, and before you know it, hours have gone by and you're still sitting in front of this computer. Number two reason it sucks, it adds friction. First of all is the friction of time, right? But I know I'm not the only one. I have been here sitting at my computer transcribing to it. You suck, make this better. It's laughable, it's embarrassing, right? But why would I let AI introduce this drama into my life that I don't need? Whereas if I just spent that time that I put into those loops and rabbit holes into actually thinking, actually paying attention, it will improve. Okay, number three reason it sucks. We're really just gonna let a machine decide what humans should care about? Let me reiterate. Only a human can experience a concert. Only a human can experience a comedian and feel what was funny. Your content and writing needs to come from that same exact energy that is generated in here, and a machine could never do that. A machine could never care. A machine could never cry at a concert. A machine could never cry at the story you told and remember you forever. Maybe there's a percentage of people who don't know, but I can guarantee you most of us know. When you're writing with AI, when you're starting with AI, okay, we might not consciously know, but subconsciously, we have become professional scrollers. We can actually gauge within 0.2 or 0.5 seconds, something crazy like that, if something feels genuine or not. And that is absolutely communicated through the words that you use. And if you actually took the time to put one word next to another to create a meaning in a sentence, humans can feel that. Subconsciously, we know what patterns are making these AI sentences and what's not, and we are only becoming more professional. We should get paid for this, honestly. So I've been here. I've been at the beginning of my journey on LinkedIn. I was posting for 3-4 months and I really wasn't seeing anything happen. It was because I was relying too heavy on AI. And I relied on myself to remember or to expand on the idea later instead of dumping it somewhere. The only thing that was my saving grace was my connections and relationships and friends that I've made. I've made some genuine homies on LinkedIn because my intention was never to sell. It still is not to sell at this point. Your strategy on LinkedIn needs to be trust. If you're writing content, it needs to be trust above anything. I promise you can leave out the sales speech in 90% of your content and still win. But I've got Jarek, I've got Benjamin Stevens, I've got so many more friends that I've made, and when you create a network like that, you are the first people to comment for your friend. And if you can get a comment in the first hour, LinkedIn's gonna push it to more people, right? So it needs to prove that initial engagement. That's the only reason I didn't completely quit, to be honest with you, but that's not enough. The content's gotta be valuable too. The content's gotta be human too. So after some time, I've changed my ways. And now it's been more than 8 months, and I know that my engagements have skyrocketed, and I'm sitting on this J curve. Like, we're about to go to the moon, baby. I promise you that I'm laying everything that I learn out on the floor. I'm not interested in selling. My goal is to practice trust every day, and I'm gonna give you all those insights. Okay, so what changed? Well, I'll tell you about this habit, and then I'll tell you about a way to use this habit even better. You have to write everything down at all moments, in inconvenient places. If you have to, use a napkin. If you have to, write it on your arm. Use your notes app. I'm still not organized, by the way. I still do not keep all of my notes in one place. I have a tool, I'll share about it later, that might help with that. But I'm all over the place. You don't have to be organized, but you have to write it down. Okay, you could be in a moment and be like, yeah, that's probably too embarrassing. I would never write it down. Remember that ideas are perishable. Our brains are not meant to remember. They are meant to create solutions and ideas, but then it goes. You have to write it down for retention. And more importantly, don't filter out an idea too early. Just because it might have nothing to do with your niche does not mean you shouldn't write it down. You have to know that creativity is the conjunction of two things that do not belong together. Many people claim that they don't have the skill of creativity, but it's something you genuinely can improve over time. But as long as you know what it is and the habits that will increase your creativity, then you can get there. Why was I eating spaghetti tacos as a kid? It was some popular snack we had, but those things, they do not belong together. But what a creative, fun thing. I want to try that. They want to try that. That idea spread like wildfire, right? Okay, you can emulate that. Just write it down. You don't have to use it later. If you think it's too embarrassing or you never share that on LinkedIn, okay, that's okay. But why don't you make that decision in 24 hours when you've let the idea ruminate? And the reason why you want to wait before you kind of finally execute on it is because during that time of waiting, that idea is kind of ruminating in your subconscious, and you can, throughout your day, figure out more reasons, more things that might support the idea, and also be like, that's the word I forgot, or that's the thing that will make this better, right? Seriously, if it feels too emotional, it's probably something we should be writing down anyway. Writing is not only a great habit for communication in your business and to make the world a better place, it's for your mental health. There's 2 more reasons that are big motivators why you should be writing everything down. It forces you to clarify a thought and explore something deeper, to increase your understanding of it. I don't know a time that's ever been a bad thing. That is a very worthy investment. Just by writing it down in that moment, and please add every additional thought, brain dump. Talk for 2 minutes, 3 minutes on the idea. Just let the word vomit go. That's how you get some good stuff, right? And then from there, now that you've got it all on paper and you're looking at it and you're like, what is this jumbled mess? Then you can refine it and put it through process. Okay, and then lastly, unwritten ideas sit in your brain like open browser tabs. As an ADHD founder, individual, I have about 50 open at all times, 5 tasks going at once. Drives you mad, right? But if you can write it down, it actually clears up some mental bandwidth. You can trust yourself. Now that you wrote it down, you know it's somewhere, you know you're gonna return to it, and boom, it's gone. It's in your subconscious processing, and you're picking out details that will help it. But not only is this a great practice for your ideas in business, once again, but for your life, dude. If you're ever stressed and overwhelmed at all the things you gotta do, if you just write them down, you're gonna instantly feel better. And lastly, I thought this was so interesting, is that smokers actually improve their rate of quitting by introducing this habit of, if I just have one at night, I will be good for now. They prolong the time in which they have a cigarette because they've shown themselves that I will answer this at some point, but it doesn't have to be now. And since they set that standard time, they've taken care of that craving in the moment. So there's probably more to that, but that was always very interesting when I read about that. Let's review my process really quick. Just quick review. Brain dump. I'm writing everything down. I'm voice memo. Most of the time it's a voice memo, voice text. Write that shit down. Every word verbatim that comes out of your word vomit. Please, I'm begging you, okay? Because the best content comes from flow state. Let me say that again. Flow state. The closer your content that's out into the world is to what came right here, the better. The more compelling, the more human. The more layers in between it, we're losing you by seconds. We're losing your authenticity by minutes. Okay, then let it sit. Maybe only for 30 minutes, maybe 3 hours. If you need a LinkedIn post for the day, fine, 10 minutes, okay? But then revisit. Now, do the check. Maybe I need to reformat it slightly to really sell the idea, or just delete some stuff. Keep as many verbatim sentences as possible. Sound exactly like your thoughts. Sound like you're texting a friend. Boom, you've done that. Now let's do another check. Does this apply to my audience? Does my audience care about this? Does this provide value to them genuinely? And is it clear? Okay, then finally, the scariest part, actually hitting post. Even if it feels a little bit on the edge, a little bit risque, some of my most engaged with content is that way. And I've maybe had only 2 moments across this 8 months of me going all in that was like, maybe I didn't want to post that, but it's okay. It's not like I was admitting I robbed a bank. It was just me being human. And even if it didn't land properly with my audience and I felt a little self-conscious about it, everyone forgot about it by now. And look what I've been able to do. I've been able to generate countless compliments of, you actually sound human. You actually broke the pattern of sounding like everybody else. Isn't that what we all want? This is not just for LinkedIn. This is for every platform. Any piece of written content or video content, make it you. Just be human. The internet, the world needs way more of it. So finally, perspective is uniquely your job. You cannot outsource what comes from here. Words actually carry the energy that you had when you created it. There is a dopamine spike. Receptors are acting as you have an idea. You can feel that in the words. I've seen it myself. My engagement started exploding when I started sending it before I overthought it all. If you found any value in this, subscribe, because I've got a lot more coming. And if you want to be a helpful human to your homies who are in a similar space, might find this useful, definitely give it a send to them. If you ever want to sit down for a 15-minute brand jam chat just to meet each other, discovery call, whatever you want to call it, I'm down. And most importantly, if you have any feedback for how I can better communicate or improve the quality of these videos, I'm all ears. But for now, it's Sid Meier, founder of SS Lighthouse Creative, SS Lighthouse Films, The Kids Like Us, Keys Media Studio, and a couple other things on the way. Wow. Whew. Keeping it real.